Hey everybody, Tommy here with TFL Card, taking a look at the brand new Range Rover Sport, the third generation of Range Rover. And in this video, I'm going to give you a full walk around video. We're going to talk about some of the really cool features on the outside and on the inside, and talk about one of the craziest powertrains in any new SUV. Really cool stuff. Now let's talk about it. The Range Rover Sport is the best-selling model in the Range Rover lineup, and the third generation, certainly more evolution rather than revolution from a styling perspective, but the big word, flush. So everything you see on the front end now is flush into the body. I love the fact that they haven't gone to like the huge gaping grills that you see on some new luxury SUVs. Instead, you actually have three grill inlets. You got the main one up top here, one in the middle, and one in the bottom. But against this kind of satin matte finish, a really cool look contrasting with the black. Range Rover badging along the front, and much thinner headlights than the previous generation. So a little bit more kind of squinty along the front, but a distinctive daytime running light design. And I have to say, from a front-end design perspective, it does look more new, more fresh, more exciting. Now coming along the side here, you'll see a lot of similarities to the current generation of Range Rover. So you still have that iconic 3-bar design with the continuous line all along the side, a kind of sloping roof line toward the rear, and then of course the character line in the bottom. Now depending on the trim, the design is going to change a little bit. So this one has that really aggressive lower front splitter. You can also get it with a more tucked up model, which might be better for off-road situations. Let's talk about the wheels. Every Range Rover Sport comes with a massive wheel. A 21-inch wheel is standard, and you can get up to 23s. So if you love that kind of Hot Wheels-like proportion with those enormous wheels along the side of the vehicle, the Range Rover Sport is certainly the vehicle for you. From an off-roading standpoint, it'd be cool if you could get one a little smaller, but they have incorporated a lot of off-road tech, including air suspension. It's got that cool new dual volume system, kind of similar to what you'd find in like the Defender, and you can get up to 5.3 inches of lift from the standard height. There are also various performance packages you can get as well, which will help with roll stabilization and all of that. Now let's talk about the engine choices, because this is where things get really exciting. On the base end of the spectrum, 3-liter inline 6-cylinder turbo, mild hybrid, similar to what you'd find in like the Defender. It's got right around 400 horsepower, a very competent engine. On the top end of the spectrum, this red one right here, I apologize, videographer. This one is the twin-turbo 4.4-liter V8. Now that is an engine shared with BMW products. It's shared with the full-size Range Rover. That's got over 500 horsepower, 523. But the really exciting news, the plug-in hybrid. So we're looking at an inline 6-cylinder turbo mated to an electric motor, which is sandwiched between the engine and the transmission, and something like a 38 kilowatt-hour battery for a usable range of 48 miles on all electric, and 450 some miles of total range, 434 horsepower, 619 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds for a plug-in hybrid, and it's got DC fast charging. 0 to 80% charge in about an hour. Now let's take a quick look at the interior and check out some of the major changes there. Now stepping inside the Range Rover Sport, well, it's like coming into a minimalist cabin. There really is not a lot in terms of hard buttons. Now this main display is a 13.1-inch screen, and you can actually see it's got a slight curve to it, and it's floating above the dashboard, which is really cool. This is the latest generation of Range Rover system, and pretty much everything, every function of the vehicle is within this display. Now below that, we do have our automatic climate control systems with these knobs. You twist those to set the climate control, some buttons here, and then below that, we do have our shifter, not a rotary knob, but actually a little physical shifter, and then the off-road drive selector. So this is where you're gonna go to your terrain response settings. You got dynamic, eco, comfort, gravel, grass, no mud and ruts, and sand in this model. Also dynamic settings here, and for my off-road enthusiasts out there is a low-range transfer case. Heck yes. Now the gauge cluster, the instrument cluster, is also floating above the dash a little bit. Very clear. One of the most crystal clear displays I've ever seen. And then buttons illuminated here on the steering wheel with the seat controls over here on the door. Super comfortable seats, by the way. We'll take a quick look at the rear end. Much like the brand new full-size Range Rover, the rear end is much more angular than the previous generation. Lots of kind of crisp creases everywhere, very squared off. Looks fantastic. We've got the full LED taillights with this floating effect, and then the license plate is now lower, and up top, dual shark fins. How cool is that? One for like your Sirius XM and that kind of thing. And then this one has got the little rear view camera for the mirror. Of course, it does have a power lift gate. Push the button. It is not a dual fold, just a single lift up there. And then huge trunk space back here with push buttons for the seat folding and even a little bit of space underneath the floor. Now, pricing wise, well, the new Range Rover starts at $83,000 for the P360 model, and it tops out at $121,500 for the fully loaded V8 First Edition, like you see over there. And currently, at launch in September, the only way to get the V8 is going to be with the First Edition. Guys, thank you so much for watching this walk around here at TFL Car. We'll see you on the next video.